And I think the biggest thing to that is a lot of people, either they don't turn at all, or they turn too much, they put it down, they get here, they come up, and then they chop, and it shanks. Or they don't turn at all. They just kind of get the ball, they set the club down, and they just kind of do this. Then off the ball, they get here, they come up, the weight moves back here, and all of a sudden, the head moves forward, and now they chop across the ball. It's the stability of the resistance that golfers have to understand. That's where your power is. Now, what do I mean by resistance? Who can tell me what resistance is? Let me chip these up here. Who can tell me what resistance is?
Keeping centered over the ball while you're moving your hand space and width away from you.
Yes. Yes. Now, where is the energy stored in the resistance? Where is it stored?
In the center.
In the center. Sounds good enough, doesn't it? Now, does that feel comfortable at first? Or does that feel handcuffed? Or do you feel like you're in a straitjacket?
Mark said, thank you. Head moving forward is me.
Okay, there you go. Now listen, guys. You get here and your head moves forward. This is just slapping across the ball. That's all it can do. You get here, the head stays back. Now the club can what? Move out in front of you. Now that offset, you can cover that ball with the offset. So did I answer your question, the last gentleman on? Did I answer that question? Okay, I'm gonna have Rachel just stand near the flag.
Derek Jones says, can you explain the feel of the follow through? That is where I'm struggling.
Feel the follow through. Okay, let me just chip these real quick, and I'll get to the next hole. Now, I don't know, I don't want to go out of range here. Now, okay, let me just say this. Okay. Why do people need the PDF? Okay, it's not to make me richer. Okay, I'm not rich. Okay, it's to make you that golfer you knew you could be. Now, what do I mean? Okay, I'm probably what? Let's just count it off. 1, 2, 4, 5. I want to hit this ball 5 yards. 5 yards. I want to carry it 5 yards and let it roll to the hole. How am I going to do that? I can't bump and run it. There's not enough green. Because if I bumped and run it, I'd have to land it here and it would run too far. So now I've got to use what? I've got to use the loft of the club of my lob wedge to open it up. So when I open my lob wedge up from a 60 to about a 62.5, I grab underneath, I don't turn. I lock it in. So I'm adjusting for this 5-yard shot. Because I don't want to stab at the ball. There's no stabbing here because there's no distance control. So what happens is I open the club up to about 62.5, a little more weight on my lead leg, my head back. I still create space width and resistance, but it feels like a putt. I'm putting the 62.5-degree lob wedge. More weight on my lead leg, more as my head stays back. So basically, I'm getting the club here, and I'm putting it. But I've got enough leverage in my forearm at the 62.5 because I locked it in. There's no need to lift up, okay? I just want to make sure the 62 moves through the ball. Now, how am I going to do that? I'm going to get here, and I'm going to feel my left shoulder, more like a shoulder exchange, move through the ball as I get to my bend. Even on this little short shot, I get to my bend and let the club move through, okay? But the key to the shot is I'm not square to the target. I'm open to the target. My feet are very close together. I got more weight on my weight on my left leg. 62-degree loft. All I'm going to do, I got to trust the fact that what? Rachel can look at the ball. Okay. Okay. Woo.
No, Terry, your method is so right. I mean, I almost chipped in like 3 times when I played on Monday. or Tuesday it was.
Yeah.
It definitely does work. I made a lot of pars where I wasn't supposed to make pars, but
And
it
who,
definitely.
and who's speaking?
Okay, Matthew J.
Yeah, Matthew, exactly. Because see, here's what happens. The average weekend golfer will be too wide here. He'll be too wide, and there's too much power. You got to be very open to the target, more weight on that left leg because the head stays back, 62 degrees locked in. I still create space with the resistance and still get to my bend and
See,
watch the ball.
The problem with
almost on the hole.
the problem with
You
other
see?
amateurs and stuff like that, Terry, is they get sketchy and flitchy, and they start trying to come up on their hands, and they don't trust the method. If they trust your method in that chipping, they'll make a lot more birdies, pars, all types of stuff.
Exactly. It's the glitch that they get nervous because they think somehow they've got to help the technology of the golf club. And that couldn't be farther from the truth.